Hello YouTube, and check out the man cave. So hello YouTube, and welcome to another video. Check out the man cave, bike cave, dining room, whatever. Today's video is going to be a bit different. We're getting back to cycling. And this video, as you can see from my very professional chalkboard, it's about cycling with epilepsy. Now, as some of you may be aware from social media and a magnet fishing video, I recently, last year, had a massive seizure. I was then assigned a neurologist, and while I was waiting for the neurology appointments, I had another series of seizures. One at the bottom of Mount Snowdon. There is a video about that trip, but it doesn't show me actual seizure, if you're into that kind of thing. So what I'm going to go through today is cycling with epilepsy. My epilepsy, how it affects me, the dangers of cycling with epilepsy, the precautions I'm going to take to enable me to cycle with epilepsy, including the routes, the kit and the tech. I don't know if you can see that, that's in the way. And also my plans for cycling with epilepsy, in other words what rides I've got and things I've got planned for the rest of the year. So first off, as I was saying, I got diagnosed with epilepsy. It was only New Year's Eve, which is why there's been no videos. I've hardly been able to do anything. New Year's Eve, I've so far had blood done, heart ultrasound, lung x-rays, CT scan, EEG scan and an MRI scan, and I'm waiting for results for the EEG and the MRI. When I first saw my neurologist, and he said this is going to be epilepsy, by the way, although it's not confirmed, this is epilepsy. I was given a list of things I couldn't do, such as driving a car, cycling, fishing, having a bath on my own, obviously, and a list of other things. But the ones that concerned me were obviously cycling and fishing. I can't go near water. Now, on New Year's Eve, I was prescribed anti-seizure drugs, which are these here, Lamictal, or Lamitragine, that's the way you say it. And I organised these because I'm increasing the dose over 3 months, and one of these little pill holders. Now, for anybody who doesn't know anything about epilepsy, people have different triggers for their epilepsy, and mine seems to be lack of sleep, and I unfortunately suffer from insomnia, brought on by a bit of sort of general anxiety. So if I don't have sleep for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, I can feel a seizure coming on. Sometimes I can't, but I can feel a seizure coming on. So I'll come back to that in a minute, because knowing if you're likely to have a seizure can affect these things that are on here. So I have different seizures. I have some major ones where I'm thrashing around on the floor, biting into my tongue, destroys all the muscles in your body, because 10 minutes of having a full-on muscle fit, your jaw muscles, every muscle in your body is destroyed for days after. And I have I've had some that are quite vague. I've had them in my sleep, not knowing about it, woke up, tried to roll over and just felt, you get a feeling for how floppy your body feels after a seizure. I was prescribed these meds. Now with these meds, you increase them every 2 weeks. You start off at 1 tablet, 2 weeks later you're on 2 tablets, another 2 weeks later 3, until eventually you're on 3 in the morning, 3 at night, so a total of 6 tablets. So far, these have stopped my seizures. They've also helped me sleep, so I'm less likely to have a seizure, because my trigger is lack of sleep. And these are also helping me sleep, because I believe that also give them to people with bipolar, so it just helps you to generally relax. So because I got these tablets and they seem to be working, and I'm itching to get on a bike, I've decided now is as good a time as any to gradually introduce myself back to cycling again. And it has killed me, obviously, not being able to go out on a bike. It's been months really since I've done anything. I've nipped the shop on it, and that's about it. So yeah, my epilepsy is under control now, touch wood. I've been seizure free since day 2 of taking these tablets. Now, obviously with cycling with epilepsy, there's some dangers involved. Having a seizure when you're on your bike, Now I do a lot of canal riding, as you'll have seen from some of my videos, So obviously if I have a seizure and go to the canal, there's a risk of drowning. If I'm having a seizure on the road, there's a risk of just driving in front of a truck basically. So there's a lot to take into consideration and about to think about before deciding to cycle again, because if I had accidents on the road, somebody killed me, they've got that on their mind as well as me dying and the kids losing their dad and going into a canal. I could, like I say, the same again, just drowning. It's not just you, it's the people around you as well that have to deal with you. So I have put a lot of thought into this. I wouldn't, now I know my triggers are sleep, I'm going to be selective about when I choose to go riding. So if I've had no sleep for 1 or 2 days, I'm saying no sleep, I mean poor sleep or only a few hours, I won't be attempting to ride my bike at all. So that's my first precaution really, is just selecting the time when I'm going to go on a bike ride, and I plan on doing a lot of cycling. I can't let epilepsy bring an end to the things I enjoy doing, and cycling is one of the things I get most enjoyment out of. So basically I decide when I am and aren't fit for cycling. Now routes, this comes back to there's no safe, really safe route near to me. I don't drive a car and aren't allowed to drive a car. So I'm surrounded by canals and I live in a town and I'm surrounded by another load of towns. It's hard to get out to the country without riding there first. So I have got to be wary of my routes, and it's hard to choose between do you ride on a road, main road, do you ride on a canal. If anybody else has got epilepsy and doesn't drive and they cycle, let me know how if you take that into account. So what I'm aiming to do is a lot of cycle paths. We have got a cycle network around here, so you're not on a main road, and it's right at the bottom of my street to get access to it. You're not on a main road. You do crossroads every now and then, and you're not necessarily next to water for any length of time. So I've got a load of the cycle route maps for the whole of the Midlands. So I'll be working my way around some of those, or there will be, to get confidence and feel safe.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Now back to the routes. Routes. It's a choice between being by water or being by the road, really, where I live, and there's no good option. So, but we do have at the bottom of the road access to a cycle route, which is basically footpaths. There's a network all over the Midlands. So I will be doing a lot of cycling on those initially until I get to see how my body and everything else reacts to cycling. How I feel. You can feel epilepsy quite a lot, not always, but I'm getting to learn it now, and as I learn more, I will be veering from these cycle routes, which, like I say, just footpaths that do lead out into the countryside where you feel a bit safer. So the routes are going to be important for me. They're going to change. They're going to start on the on the cycle footpaths. I'll then start doing a bit of canal, a bit of footpath, and then hopefully get me cycling back to be quite free once I'm confident, once I can read the signals. I'm not actually up to the full dose of these yet, and like I said, they have stopped my seizures completely, so once I'm on the full dose of this, I'll be happy, and I think I'm about 3 weeks away from the full dose, out of 3 months to get you there. There have been some mad side effects to these, by the way, that I've stopped my cycling. The latest ones, every time I increase the tablets, I get 2 or 3 days of side effects. So every 2 weeks I get 2 or 3 days where I don't bother trying to do anything. The last side effects I had was getting disorientated in my local retail park. I'd walk into a shop, when I walked back out it was like I'd walked onto a different town, and I walk into another shop, walk back out the same door, and again it was like I was in a completely different place altogether. It was a bit weird. But other ones have either been like headaches, dizzy spells, stomach cramps, nausea, itching in the middle of the night, just random, but they're getting less and less now, and I won't go obviously if I'm disorientated. Kit. I'm not always wearing a helmet, and I'm not always wearing high vis. Like I say, I do a lot of canal rides, so it might be wrong of me, but I sometimes choose to not wear any of those things and go for comfort. I duck under bridges, and I'm not going to bang my head in the canal, I'm not in the water, but I know there are risks of go over the handlebars and crash my head on the floor. So I'm going to up my safety. I'm going to always be wearing a helmet. I'm going to always be wearing high vis. One thing I also carry, and you can't see this from all the way over there on camera, I wear a medical bracelet which says medical alert, epilepsy. So if anybody finds me in a heap and they check my pulse, hopefully they find this. I'm also wearing a proper SOS medical necklace. Inside here it unscrews, and inside here are all my medical details. So it says I've got epilepsy, it says what medication I'm on, it tells you my blood group, your next of kin, my family's contact details, allergies, so ambulance crews can diagnose what's wrong with you properly instead of just thinking he's drunk too much on his bike or whatever. Also in my wallet there's things you can get for epilepsy, and you can put cards in your wallet that basically says similar stuff to what is kept inside here. And I'll also be making an epilepsy alert sticker to go on my bike, so if I'm found next to my bike it will say my bike I'm epileptic. So yeah, we've got the high vis, we've got all the information, we've got a helmet which I should be wearing all the time anyway. Inside this necklace is also the passcode to my iPhone, and inside my iPhone I'll store some in case of emergency numbers as well, and that's written inside here. So yeah, so taking care of planning my routes, avoiding busy roads, too much water at first, making sure I just have the basics that I don't know always where. Tech. Now, I've got an iPhone, obviously that's what I'm filming on now, so Find My iPhone is a good app for when I go out on a ride. I will leave somebody with details, logins from Find My iPhone, so basically keep an eye on where I am. I'll also be using my social media before every ride to give detailed instructions on where I'm going and a map of the route that I'll be taking. So if I do go missing, or anybody's worried that I've gone way too long, they'll be able to go to my social media and say, this is the route you took, that's where you will or should be. Also letting people who I know, this is where I'm going, this is how long I should be gone, this is the route I'm going to be taking. I also have, and the battery's going to need recharging, a Tracker Bravo tracker for my bike, which I won't tell you where you put it because you can hide them. It's an anti-theft thing really, and I can actually give people my logins to that, and if I go past somebody else who's got the app on their phone, it will say where I was last seen on my bike, at least was last seen. So yeah, there's a lot really with getting diagnosed with epilepsy that affects your cycling from a safety point of view, but you just can't live your life in the fear, well I can't, that something might happen. You can plan for it and prep for it, nothing's ever going to be perfect, but you can't let it stop you and put your life on hold. It's been frustrating for weeks. I had to wait 6 months between having my first seizure and getting an appointment with a neurologist. And now I've got 4 weeks, down to about another 2 weeks to get my results from the MRI, which can show things like tumours, scar tissue on the brain, infections of the brain. They're just trying to find out if there's a physical cause for me suddenly having epilepsy at 41 years old. I don't know if anybody else who watches my channel has got any kind of disabilities that they cycle with. If you have, put in the comments below what precautions you take, how it affects your cycling, because I'd be interested to hear from anybody else, not just with epilepsy but with any other disabilities that they cycle with and how it affected them, and was it something you were born with and you've adapted to, or was it something that came later in life? It doesn't have to be a disability, it can be an injury or just an age thing, and how you cope with it and how you get around it. So I'd love to hear about that, and I'd probably put some of those comments in another video just to show what other people are doing when they've got a physical restriction to cycling. I've actually met a guy in the canal once with his father, and he got cerebral palsy and he was cycling with some sort of splints for his legs that were hinged. So yeah, let me know if you have a similar thing going on for you. And now plans. All of last year's plans were put on hold. Obviously, after I had my first seizure, I was told it could be a one-off, I climb Mount Snowdon with my son, which is what this t-shirt's all about. Your son's disabled, so you climb Mount Snowdon. For another disabled guy who's got cerebral palsy and isn't getting treatment. And when we got to the bottom of Mount Snowdon, I had at that point, I think my second or third seizure, and that's when it became obvious it wasn't just a one-off after all. And I got taken by Snowdon Mountain Rescue to their medical centre, then on to Bangor Hospital, and the person who dealt with me had a lot of experience with epilepsy. I said, yeah, basically you've got epilepsy. Now when I come round from a seizure, I'm confused, I don't know where I am, sometimes I don't know what my name is, what year it is, but I have a feeling, I know it's been another seizure, something's gone wrong, and it takes me quite a while at times to get my bearings. When I have a major seizure, I cannot remember much, it's very cloudy the whole day is. Which is why it's important I have all the contact details, home address, ice details, everything. I couldn't tell anybody what blood group I was and what I was allergic to and what meds I was on, using my own memory basically, once I've had a seizure. So my plans for this year, like I say, all of them got put on hold last year. This year, starting off, I'm going to start off with something like a 20-30 mile ride. Flat ground, nice and easy, nothing to get me out of breath. I actually found out I was taken for an EEG where they try and induce an epileptic fit. They do a strobe lighting thing with all different speeds to try and induce one. It didn't work. They gave me some breathing exercises, not breathing exercises, but a breathing rhythm to do for 3 minutes. And this specific breathing rhythm can actually induce an epileptic fit. So I did this for 3 minutes and I realised the breathing rhythm that they've given me is my cycling breathing rhythm when I'm doing anything a bit hilly and you get into that. And it was 3 minutes of that to try and give me a seizure, and I thought about it, I thought, oh my god, that's sort of my breathing rhythm when it gets hilly and gets hard. And 3 minutes of that non-stop didn't give me a seizure either. So yeah, keep it nice and smooth at first, follow the cycle paths. As the year goes on, I'm going to gradually introduce some overnights, so doing some bike packing. Last year I planned to cycle into the Peak District, spend the night in a cave, so do a solo overnight in a cave, carrying all my kit and cycling home. One major one I'd love to do when I get a bit more confident and safe, and I know I've felt it out a little bit, is cycling from Stoke to London, not using any roads, and doing over 2 or 3 days, 3 nights. Stopping off wherever I end at the end of the day, putting a hammock up or putting a tent up, sleeping there for the night, and then moving on the next day. But I will be doing, initially, a lot of rides around the Midlands, around Staffordshire, maybe venturing it off from Staffordshire to Liverpool, Staffordshire to Wales, and gradually increasing it over the year. Now, if anybody has got epilepsy and I've missed anything out of you, or you've got any tips or advice for me of things I should take into consideration, then drop it in the comments and let me know, and I'll read them out and tell you what I think basically. So, bit of a different video. Like I say, sorry no cycling, we've got the video on here. If you do want to see, you've not seen my channel before and you want to watch any of my cycling videos, and also the sun climbing Mount Snowdon on an amazingly windy day, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you'll see my progress as well, not just in terms of fitness, but what happens with cycling. Do I have any seizures when I'm cycling? Do I introduce anything else to make it safe, the cycling safe? I mean, imagine this, imagine a seizure there and just rolling in front of that. So I take precautions now crossing roads. I press the button, stand back. I don't like escalators. There's a lot of things I have to bear in mind, I've had to bear in mind day to day. Just walking around, getting about town, so we'll see how things progress, but like I say, touch wood, I've been seizure free now for a couple of months, and since day 2 I've started my meds. Now this room is a work in progress, it's the man cave. My son is behind the camera now, please don't kick the tripod over.
No.
I've heard him laughing. This is where I'll be doing my cycling reviews. I've got some review videos coming up of bike packing kits, some bike parts that I'm about to upgrade, well, we'll be upgrading throughout the year, and they'll all be from here. He's nodding. Pull it and doing hand gestures. Are you saying time? Is that what you're saying?
I have the time on the clock.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I say, anybody with any kind of disability or illness, let me know how you get on in the comments below. I'll look forward to getting onto my bike within the next 3 or 4 days to do my first ride. So I'll do a video of that ride and let you know how it goes. Let you know how it feels. Do I feel dodgy? Do I feel okay? Do I feel like I could do more? Do I feel safe with everything I've got, like basic safety gear? Yeah, so I'll try and make it a bit of an interesting ride, although I'm going to be a cycle path. It won't be something that I've filmed before. Normally I head in one specific direction when I'm cycling from home. I've moved house and I'm going to be heading in completely the opposite direction, so hopefully won't be repeating anything with people who've already been watching my channel. So thanks very much for watching. Looking forward to the bike ride in a couple of days. I hope you enjoyed that video too. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more and see how I progress and see some of the adventures, the cycling and climbing adventures that's going to be going on through the year. My son, who did Snowdon, is also going to be doing Scafell Pikes and Ben Nevis this year as well, aged 11, with arthrogryposis. So we'll be doing all 3 peaks. Hopefully going to be doing some cycling in Ireland. So thanks for watching. Stay safe and enjoy your rides.